welcome to News Channel Nebraska. I'm Michael Shively. Hope your day is off to a good start. Police in central Nebraska are investigating after a party ended with gunshots and an injury over the weekend. Authorities are looking into the shooting that occurred early Sunday morning following an altercation at a party in downtown Kearney. Officers responded to the area around 3:30 in the morning Sunday and found a 30-year-old man with gunshot wounds to both legs. Police say the man was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and had been released by Monday. Investigators say the shooting doesn't appear to be random. They say it stemmed from an altercation at the party where several people reportedly fired shots. The investigation is continuing. Police say they'll release more information as it becomes available. The trial proceedings have started for a woman accused of being involved in a quadruple homicide in Laurel in 2022. Carrie Jones is charged with murdering one of the 4 victims, along with tampering with physical evidence and accessory to a felony. Hanky Hazelton observed the first day of proceedings and explains what we'll see next.
The 2-day jury selection of 100 people for Carrie Jones' trial began at Madison High School gymnasium due to limited courtroom space. Jones is the wife of convicted murderer Jason Jones, and she faces 3 charges of her own. According to the courts, the trial has moved from Cedar County to ensure an unbiased jury, given extensive media coverage in Cedar, where the murders occurred at 2 Laurel homes. Madison County also has a larger population that offers a broader jury pool. Carrie Jones was in the gymnasium with her counsel today and was allowed to be in civilian clothing. She remained, from what we could tell and observe, very calm and quiet and attentive to the judge and her legal team throughout the proceedings. For those unfamiliar with this case, the charges against Carrie Jones stem from the August 2022 murders of Jean and Jeanette Twyford, their daughter Dana, and Michelle Ebling, as well as the arson of the Twyford and Ebling homes in Laurel. Jason Jones was convicted in September of 2024 and awaits decision on the death penalty. Carrie claims she was being harassed, which prosecutors believe could have been her motive, but prosecutors also allege she was an active participant in the crimes. To maintain trial integrity, the judge has instructed jurors to avoid discussing the case with anyone, whether in person or electronically. The jury selection continues for one more day, and the trial will begin Wednesday, July 30th at 9 a.m. In the newsroom, Hanky Hazelton, News Channel Nebraska.
A district court judge is handing down prison time for the final defendant in a 2022 shooting that left 1 man dead in Kearney. NCN's Peter Rice takes you inside the courtroom.
Chambers has been sentenced to 7 to 20 years in prison for the count of manslaughter, with additional 4 to 8 year sentences being imposed for the 2 second-degree assault charges, and these are to be served concurrently. He's being given credit for the 571 days of time served. Jared Shinbaugh was killed in January of 2022 in what police say was a drug deal gone wrong.
Chambers claimed in court he acted in self-defense during the shooting, saying Shinbaugh and others burst into the Kearney home wearing ski masks and armed with pepper spray and an axe. Prosecutors, however, argued, saying Chambers continually shot even after intruders had fled.
I think to do anything less than maximum sentences appreciates the seriousness of these offenses. It certainly promotes disrespect for the law, and it certainly sends the wrong message to this community. This type of behavior cannot be tolerated, this type of lost lifestyle. Our community needs to be able to be protected, and this message needs to be sent to this defendant and other defendants.
Chambers pleaded guilty in March, but later tried to withdraw his plea before Judge John Marsh denied that motion last month, leading to sentencing. In a lengthy and emotional statement to the court, Chambers said that he had just been released from parole, was homeless, and was staying with friends when the robbery unfolded, and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Chambers asked for leniency, equaling parole in time served, emphasizing his work history, family support, and desire to rebuild his life.
And at the end of the day, a life was lost and people were hurt. It's all been devastating and traumatizing for everyone involved. This situation has impacted so many lives in a negative way. I hate that any of this ever happened. Someone died, and that's something I could never forget about. I have to live with that for the rest of my life. So I believe me being incarcerated is excessive punishment, being that I already survived a life or death situation and suffered with the trauma from the robbery and forced to defend myself, which resulted in the death of a person. Thank you, Your Honor.
Chambers had a prior conviction in 2016 for attempted robbery, and he had been recently released from parole 2 months before the 2022 shooting. Judge Marsh said that Chambers' possession of a gun as a felon, the use of deadly force, and the level of violence required a prison sentence. He will serve no less than 7 years and no more than 20 years on the collective charges, with Judge Marsh saying that Chambers will be eligible for parole in about 2 years.
Chambers was the final one in this case to be sentenced, with 2 others pleading guilty for lesser charges. With sentencing now complete, it allows for the Kearney community to turn the page on this dark chapter. From Kearney, Peter Rice, News Channel Nebraska.
Term limits are coming to elected city positions in Hastings. The City Council voted last night to institute term limits for positions on city boards and committees, which are volunteer positions. The ordinance limits people from serving more than 2 consecutive terms and from serving on more than 1 board or committee at a time. The vote ends more than a month of discussion in the council and community. Supporters say it's a way to get new ideas into city government. Natural gas prices are on the rise in Nebraska. The Nebraska Public Service Commission is reminding consumers that starting Friday, Black Hills Energy will charge higher rates for natural gas. The nearly $35 million proposal would increase Black Hills' fixed customer charges and distribution charges. They're still waiting for approval from the PSC, but the company can start charging higher rates in the interim. The commission will hold a hearing on Black Hills' proposal in October to gather evidence from the company and the other parties. If the commission approves a final rate lower than the interim rate, the utility must refund the difference. Elected officials at both the local and federal levels of government are working together to review recent federal revisions that could affect the availability of reliable internet access for rural Nebraskans. As we reported earlier this month on NCN, a June change in priority delivered down to the states from a federal agency means that more than half of the areas in Nebraska that had previously been identified as eligible for new fiber-based high-speed internet access are not eligible for that service anymore. Now, elected officials in southeast Nebraska and beyond have been in contact with U.S. Senator Deb Fischer to ensure she knows the impact this federal decision is likely to have on locals.
We have to have somebody in the federal delegation to be our voice, to have them, directly contact the Department of Commerce and TIA to see if we can get this thing relooked. I don't know if we're going to be able to get anything modified or revised, but we're making that attempt.
When reached for comment, a Fisher spokesperson said in part, "In today's modern world, Senator Fischer understands that access to strong, reliable internet is essential, especially in Nebraska's rural areas." Shane Rock, the county commissioner, said he's confident Fischer has heard enough from local officials for her to be able to send a strong and accurate message to the Department of Commerce to consider. We have reached out to others at the local level who have been working with Fischer on this issue. We'll keep you posted here on NCN. Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola is one of the names on the Maxwell Award watch list. The sophomore putting together a big freshman season. He hit on 67% of his passes for over 2,800 yards to lead all freshmen in Division I. Raiola tossed 13 touchdowns on the season, setting a career high at 297 yards and 3 scores against Illinois. The Maxwell Award is given to the College Football Player of the Year. Raiola has his sights set on becoming only the second Husker to ever win it, joining Mike Rozier from 1983. Semi-finalists will be announced in November. The fall season of college sports is arriving soon, and the Husker Volleyball team previewed its upcoming campaign at Big Ten Media Days yesterday. National reporters were eager to talk to new head coach Danny Busboom Kelly about her return to the Cornhusker State, but just because it's a homecoming doesn't mean it was an easy process. She pointed out that she moved, took a new job, and gave birth to a child in the span of just a couple months.
It was wild, but also it was just really exciting for my family and I to be able to have the opportunity to come back to Nebraska, and something we always were hoping we'd have the opportunity to do, but never really knew for sure, you know, how the cards were going to play. But it's been a whirlwind, and again, just really thankful to have all the help and for it to have gone as smooth as it did.
Senior Rebecca Alec and junior Harper Murray represented the Big Red on the player side. Both are members of the preseason all-conference team. Nebraska is the favorite to win the Big Ten. From teaching kids to love the game to building life lessons, running around the bases, coaches often leave a mark that lasts far beyond the ball field. In Valentine, one man has spent nearly 50 years doing just that. Casey Wannenberg takes us out to the baseball diamonds.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
For generations, this is how summer has sounded. Out at the ball field, soaking in America's favorite pastime. But in order to enjoy the game, chase after foul balls, or for some kids in particular, hit up the concession stand more frequently than parents would like,
Hard City!
There needs to be someone volunteering countless hours coaching, getting the fields ready,
1 out!
and organizing the chaos.
When I first started coaching, there was wooden bats.
For around 50 years, Kent Lopez has stepped up to the plate in Valentine.
You know, and I just thought everybody needed the opportunity to play American Legion baseball.
Most of those 5 decades have been spent coaching ball.
All your power goes out here. Stay on the back foot.
During that time, he's influenced hundreds of players.
Hard!
Now coaching 2 generations in some families.
Coach Lopez, it's weird to call him that because it's always been Loper.
Blake Bebout played under Lopez in the late 90s and early 2000s. And went on to pitch at the University of Nebraska at Kearney.
Always has done a nice job of letting the game be fun. And I've said that to everybody, is baseball is a sport where the harder you try, usually the worse you do. If I try really hard to hit the ball, I usually swing and miss. If I try really hard to throw a strike, I throw it to the backstop. Or if I'm trying to throw hard to first to get somebody out, I break a windshield in the parking lot. But if you were playing the game just to have fun and you're loose and you're relaxed, usually good things happen.
Now Blake's twin sons
Tristan,
Dominic, are learning the same lessons from Coach Lopez.
He even coached against like some of our grandparents too. Just a lot of experience in the game.
The Bebouts say Lopez has shaped lives beyond baseball. Here they are hunting waterfowl together.
When you put the hat on as a coach, you put on about 10 different hats.
Those hats come in handy when life throws its curveballs.
You know, in baseball, if you fail, 7 out of 10 times you bat 300, you're considered a good hitter. So it really teaches you about how to respond to adversity. You're going to fail. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to pout? Or are you going to be like, you know what, I'll get it next time?
He now comes in to score.
The goal for this season?
Make state. Yeah, state for sure. We've gone second at districts 3 times in a row between juniors and seniors, so state's definitely the goal this year.
As for Coach Lopez, even after around 50 seasons, it's not quite the bottom of the 9th.
Hopefully I'm not going to be in on their grandsons, but you never know.
Coaching generations, shaping lives, and leaving a legacy through America's game. In Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.